The Dwarves have come to reclaim their ancient homeland of Mount Gundabad. They have launched a huge campaign in the name of Durin the Deathless and his brothers. Forces from all 7 of the Dwarven clans rallied together to retake the ancient kingdom. Forces from the Iron Hills, Erebor, Khazad-dûm, Ereluin, Eremithren, and the Red Mountain. Scouts from Mount Gundabad, however, have informed their elders of the Dwarven approach and prepared to lay a humongous ambush which the Dwarves massively underestimate. Will they be able to break through this position, or will this assault fail and the Dwarven armies crumble back to the mountains? Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Jackie Fish and welcome back to some more Total War Rise of Mordor. Today we're going to be taking our little adventure in this epic kind of, I guess, story-driven scenario that was posted over on the Rise of Mordor Discord. This is a scenario of 4 parts where basically all the casualties from the battles do actually end up carrying over. So if the dwarfs suffer a massive defeat in this battle, that is going to severely hamper and edit the next scenario in this string of battles. I assume if the dwarfs do end up losing, they will be then pushed back, maybe scattered, and the forces of Gundabad will have opportunity to take them. However, if they push forward and defeat the ambush that it lays in wait for them, I imagine then the battle will evolve into them pushing closer towards Mount Gundabad. So this should be really, really exciting. And if you guys do want to see the continuation of this scenario battle, as it is pretty goddamn epic, we have 3 legions of the Dwarven armies moving their way forward. A Gundabad ambush scattered throughout the mountains. And if you want to see the next installment and see where this battle does go, make sure you go ahead and drop a like and a comment down below. It really does help out the channel, and it will be really cool to do more of these kind of scenario-driven battles. And I know you guys do like more of that cinematic feel where these battles do carry on from one another and kind of, you know, do a lot more. So yeah, drop a like down below. It really helps out the channel and does a lot. If we take a quick look at the Dwarven armies, obviously we're going to be seeing all the new glorious units that have been added in the more recent patches. We have the Dwarves of the Red Mountain here in their amazing shock infantry. A lot of the basic Dwarven infantry. I say basic, they're still very deadly on the battlefield. We have a lot more of these Erebor crossbowmen supported by the Iron Guard as well. As they march their way forward, we have some of the heavier Dwarven shock infantry there, just with a whole assortment of mallets ready to cave in some Gundabad skulls. We also have the 2 Wardens there. In the center, we have another army. So I like how each army is being led as well. So on the far left-hand side, this army is being led by the Eremithren veterans right there. In the center, we have the army from the Mansion Reclaimers right there, who just, again, look beautiful. And then over on the far right, I assume we'll have Dane. Yeah, Dane's leading from the rear, though, which is a little bit uncharacteristic. Oh, no, just another unit of veterans. Okay, well, I imagine Dane will be in here somewhere, or maybe he has not made his way to the battlefield quite yet, and we'll see that in a future scenario battle. Over on the other side, as you can see, we have the forces of Gundabad laying in wait, many soldiers hidden within the forest, and then we also have some soldiers kind of scattered throughout. I guess these will just be the orc scouting parties that will draw the dwarves into a position where they will be assaulted. And as you can see, for them, you do have a handful of units. I do believe these are the not updated versions. I don't know if Gundabad has been updated with the new armors, because these armors are pretty dark, and what they've done in the most recent updates of Rise of Mordor is go back and edit a lot of the original Mordor armors, so they're much brighter. And I don't think Gundabad has had that treatment quite yet, but still, obviously, the armor quality is beautiful, and I can't wait for them to, you know, get that Mordor treatment, because the new Mordor armor looks amazing and just so much lighter and brighter, which adds so much more to the battlefield, whereas because Attila's is such a dark game that, you know, it really does take away from a lot of things. Everything is just in the shadows, and it's hard to really show off on YouTube. So we have some more of these pikes back here. We have, you know, just kind of scattered throughout the settlement, more Gundabad outpost units, but obviously their main assault is going to be heavily focused in this position. But I would assume, you know, as you can see, there's 7,000 men either side, or I say dwarves and orcs either side. I imagine maybe the dwarves will have a pretty good advantage in going into this battle. I assume this battle is probably poised for the dwarves to actually claim victory, looking at the 2 armies. However, you know, again, it's about how many soldiers Gundabad can actually kill, because, as I said, that will all, you know, kind of trickle in to the next battle. I imagine there'll be like a percentage, you know, depending on how many soldiers Gundabad do take out, that will just kind of knock on to the next battle, and yeah, really affect them. And we'll see how far this Dwarven assault can make its way in. Can they reclaim Gundabad, or will they be doomed to fail? It's going to be really, really exciting. So right now, the Dwarven legions have pushed forward. There is also another passage, and it does seem like one of the Dwarven armies is going to be making their way through the left-hand side, and it does seem pretty brutal to get up here. However, there isn't much resistance. We just have a unit of these extremely dark wraiths. I know they're supposed to be dark, but my god, you guys cannot even see that. And then you also have some archers up here, again, some Mirkwood trackers. So we're not really seeing a lot of the super elite units of Dol Guldur at the moment. I imagine they'll probably come a little bit later. I mean, some of these Guldur blades are actually really good, but we'll probably see more of their units pushing up. So we've got one of the Dwarven legions moving around here. They're going to be pushing up here, and I imagine, you know, fighting their way through this area, and then probably trying to get their way all the way around and then hitting into the back of the defenses. However, we do have 2 units of these Guldur pikes being reinforcing over on that side. And I think the ambush is pretty much about to kick off as the dwarves push their way in. Obviously, they can see these initial units, basically anything without that eye on, they can see. And they're probably going to run into these guys very quickly here as the crossbows move forward, obviously trying to save every life in this battle. The crossbows probably getting very close to unleashing that first swarm of bolts down onto the Guldur blades. Obviously, taking them out will be very, very effective. And now that everything is in position, let's go ahead and get this battle started. The battle is going to kick off with some of the Erebor axe throwers making their way up. And one of the things, whenever I see these Erebor axe throwers, it always reminds me of Battle for Middle-earth. I don't know why. There was just always this bug. I think it was a bug with one of the mods I was playing for Battle for Middle-earth, and I always remember these guys crashing the game whenever I was like at a LAN and we were playing Battle for Middle-earth with like 8 of us, and someone would get the Dwarven axe throwers and it would end up crashing the multiplayer lobby, and everyone would rage about one person who forgot about the rule. It was always quite funny. Does seem like though these guys are going to go ahead and lob their axes on the retreating Guldur blades as the rest of the Dwarven forces push their way forward looking to assault this front line, and the axes are doing a pretty decent job. I imagine they have pretty good armor piercing and then clashing in against this front line with full force right there. I assume they'll also try and push up this little avenue as well. They obviously have to keep in mind that they probably definitely have the advantage here. On the far right hand side though, it does seem like they're pretty much playing quite defensive, inching their way forward almost as if they suspect that there is an ambush here. I mean, the players are, you know, just going to be playing very cautious. Again, with casualties carrying over from every battle, it is very important that you don't do anything too stupid, because losing units is going to just be absolutely brutal. And if you guys do want to see more of this campaign, this mini campaign, I'm excited to see where the battle does evolve to, because I know how many parts there are, but I won't spoil that in case you guys do get all the way. And honestly, I would actually love to see the Dwarven forces fail, you know. It's obviously very narratively driven. It would make a lot of sense to see the dwarves push forward and then have that epic fight for Gundabad at the end. But I wouldn't mind a scenario where, you know, this initial force does just crumble and now they're scattered. There's like loads of reinforcement battles and loads of different scenario engagements as well. Does seem like this unit of Erebor axes is going to fall back. It was close to being broken, and this is one of the things which is really cool about a scenario like this, is that like this unit was brought back because it was starting to get beaten up and was losing the fight, and they don't want to see this unit broken, so they decided just to pull it back. You know, these players are playing very cautiously, reinforcing the battle lines as best as they can, because yeah, if they lose these units, they are gone forever. And there you go, the main fight has begun now, and it does seem like the ambush has been sprung to some extent. But I mean, overall, this was a pretty unfortunate ambush position right here. I mean, they still were able to get some really strong units stuck in here onto the Dwarven line, who are going to just rip through them. Obviously, the shock infantry is so goddamn strong. However, you know, the dwarves are kind of fighting in the perfect situation right now. They've got this like choke point where, you know, the Dwarven quality can just hold this line, and, you know, it prevents them from being outflanked whatsoever. And we'll see how much damage does get racked up. This unit of Champions of Dol Guldur getting up to 11 kills. Oh, as well as that, we are also, for anyone interested, we are also using a sub-mod as well. That allows all, I think it puts all the forces of evil together and all the forces of good together. So the players can bring units from the elves or the men of Gondor or Rohan into these scenario battles. And I'm sure we'll be seeing them in the scenario at some point, and obviously vice versa with the forces of evil. I'm sure we'll see Mordor reinforcing. There you go, the trolls are being thrown forward now. Now keep in mind that these trolls that you guys are seeing are just a simple kind of sub-mod trolls that were made by one of the modders who was initially working on the trolls but never finished them up, and these were kind of just what was left over. And the actual official Rise of Mordor trolls will have much better animations. They'll have much more detailed models and armor, different weapons. But overall, they work really well, honestly. The point to where the modder got to with these trolls, I think he did a great job with them because they're functional. You know, they might not look the cleanest. They might look a little bit funky. The animations, obviously, there needs to be way more and stuff. But, like, functionally, they work really well. And they actually work off, if you're interested, off the elephant model. So basically, you know, how elephants work in Total War Attila, how they smash units away and they have kind of that impact. That's kind of been projected onto the trolls. So they actually work very effectively at trolls, which is good. And I can't wait to see the actual, as you can see right there, all these units getting pushed back. I can't wait to see the actual official Rise of Mordor trolls with all the different, you know, kind of animations and not having any idle poses and different weapons and different kind of types of trolls, whether it's the Olokai, the drummer trolls. And we are now seeing a pretty elite unit of the dwarfs being committed. The Tomb Wardens, who are perfect at taking on these units, because obviously they're a halberd unit, great at killing elephants. And that's kind of how you just have to imagine the battle, is like anything that's good at killing elephants is probably going to be good at killing trolls in this game. Over on this left-hand side, though, we are seeing the forces of evil committing everything they have on this side to this absolute brawl. And the dwarfs are taking a bit of a pounding right now. You can see a lot of their units are getting weakened out and reserves are being filtered in, trying to take as fewer casualties as possible. Obviously, trying to breach this point of Goldor pikes is going to be kind of dangerous, so I wouldn't be surprised if we did see, yeah, a full-on retreat here, and then just use these axe throwers, use these crossbows, and all their ammunition to try and whittle down the enemy force. We also do have a position over on this other side, as well as the unit of Erebor swordsmen break their way in. Oh, it does actually seem like the swordsmen are missing a weapon. Hey, who needs weapons when you've got the power of the dwarfs on your side? As they throw their way forward, able to do some pretty serious damage to the wraiths and hopefully break through. But yeah, definitely bringing these crossbows to deal with the pikes is going to be very, very important. Over on the other side of the battle, the dwarfs are continuing to push forward, and they've definitely made progress here. As you can see, you know, the line was originally like this, I think. So they have broken their way forward quite nicely, pushing out that bubble, but obviously receiving way more, you know, damage as they do attempt to do that. And they are having to commit more and more of their elite soldiers to this fight, which is always going to be, you know, quite scary. Going up against, you know, the strength that Dol Guldur do have to bring. The Goldor Glaives are a brilliant shock infantry unit, and very well matched against the unit of spears, who are, you know, such a defensive unit. Having these guys set up is good. However, we are now seeing 2 units of elite infantry being brought around along with the crossbows. I imagine this will be the play. This unit of iron swordsmen, though, very close to going down as they fight under the shade of the trees. But don't worry, reinforcements are on the way. The unit of shock infantry smashing into the side there, able to take down a handful of these guys on that charge. Very nice assault right there, and you can just see their brothers fighting in the distance under the mountains and hills. Very interesting indeed. And I mean, look at that battlefield as well. The dwarves are breaking their way forward, but there is still a lot more left waiting in store for them. There's a big a big kind of set of forces set up here, and we also have kind of a rear guard right there. But it does seem like this outer position of Gundabad have kind of really set up their forces now and are committed to this fight. I think this other path here as well will be an absolute mission to break through, honestly. It's just pike unit after pike unit, and obviously, as you can see, you know, the dwarves are trying to save as much ammunition as they can, but they are running low, and yeah, definitely struggling to fully make their way through this position. using their crossbows, but it does seem like the axe throwers are now out of ammunition. How many kills did the axes get in the end? 74, that's not bad. That isn't, obviously it's not amazing, but that's not bad, especially because probably a lot of them kills were on the more elite units. And here you go, the axe throwers are now being committed, just again trying to kill as many. Because I'm not actually sure, I'm sure the people who made this replay can let us know in the comments. I'm not sure if the evil factions are also playing by these rules as well, like if they lose like a large portion of their army, which I assume the winner will just kill most of them. I assume they'll probably get negatives in the next battle in some way or another. So yeah, do let us know in the comments if you were part of this scenario. Obviously, without spoiling it, let us know if the evil factions also receive some sort of negative bonus if they lose, and obviously, if they win, how does that affect them? Because I've been obviously looking at this battle very much from the point of view of the good guys. So it does seem like this left pass has been opened up now, so this could be a great opportunity to start throwing some soldiers through. Obviously, we've got a unit of them Mirkwood trackers there, unloading volley after volley. However, they're not exactly very skilled bowmen, so these arrows probably won't be doing too much to the aerial swordsmen. But yeah, now they have a perfect opportunity to make their way through this mountain pass and then start to put a lot of pressure on the rear guard, and that could be the easiest way to break these positions. Speaking of which, it does seem like over in the center, the dwarfs have pushed their way forward and have sent the orc packing. Look at this. So many of the orcs are now routing, dwindling on numbers and breaking. The dwarfs have them on the run, and that is perfect. The trolls are now fleeing as well after slaying many of them. I think the two wardens were able to get themselves some decent kills there. And look at that, yeah, the death animation is a little bit busted. They just kind of go into being a b-boy, breakdancing there. But nice, 2 wardens getting stuck in. I also wonder how experience will carry over. Like, if a division gets loads of kills, does the experience carry over? I wonder how that will work. And yeah, the dwarves are very close to breaking them over on this far right-hand side as well now. Able to wrap around the side with a wealth of swordsmen is always going to be very valuable. But, the battle hasn't gone without casualties. The dwarves have lost 1,200 men so far. I guess that's not too bad when they've almost killed 3,000 of the orcs. So I guess that's not too bad so far. Made some good progress. And now they're simply pushing on, just trying to cause as much issues. We don't know, trolls are making over. Can we see that other unit of trolls? I wonder how many kills they got. I really do. However, dwarfs making good progress. Again, even though the numbers look pretty similar, looking at the 2 armies, it does seem like the dwarfs were posed to win this battle, as I said at the beginning. But that's never normally a bad thing as well. I don't want you guys to take that as a bad thing. It's good. Having these scenario battles is always very, very cool, because it provides us with a pretty exciting kind of follow-up now. And it's not necessarily about who wins and loses, it's about who can claim the most casualties. The goal here for the outer force of Gundabad isn't to, as the elephants go off, isn't just to get as many, to win the battle. It's to get as many kills as possible, Allow their future armies to then succeed and break down this dwarven assault. More of the gold ore glaives being pushed in, the elephants charging in. How many kills did they pick up as well? They got 63 kills? Oh my god, the elephants got so many kills. However, they're being smashed by crossbow fire now, losing a handful of them. I guess that is, what, like 4 units of crossbows all firing in on them. But 63 kills from that charge seems very good. I mean, trolls are obviously always going to be an extremely potent unit on the battlefield, and one that just completely turns the tables of any battle, much like they should be. And that's one of the things I love about the troll units in general, is like, you really, like, it takes a lot of skill to use them. It might not feel like it, you just throw them in and hope for the best. But you do have to be very patient with when you use them, because obviously whoever you're fighting against will obviously be using their ammunition to kill the trolls. That's what we're going to be saving their axe throwers for. That's what we're going to be saving their skirmishers for. So it's really up to you as the player with the trolls to actually go ahead and make sure that you use them effectively. Make sure that you're not like careless with them. You hold off onto them, and then it creates some really fun mind games on exactly how to use them. Does seem like a lot of these orcs of Gundabad though are getting close to breaking point now. The forces are being thrown in, and the dwarves are wrapping up and clearing up a lot of this resistance. You can see right here, we have some dwarven shock infantry fighting against the Dol Guldur blades. able just to use their weight of numbers now to push in. And that's again something very interesting. I mentioned this in a lot of my battles, but this is just mainly for people who maybe haven't played Rise of Mordor in a while and are coming across this video. Not like the unit sizes in battle have been dramatically changed in like the more recent patches, so that the forces of orcs have a lot more soldiers in their units compared to say like the dwarves or Gondor, or the elves, which kind of represents a completely different battle play with them. The elves will find themselves very quickly surrounded, but just having a lot of quality to maybe hold off on that envelopment. You know, the elves have like, I think it's something like 70 men in units, whereas this Mirkwood Tracker unit has 250, which I think provides a very interesting play style. I know Dividi et Impera does a great job with changing numbers of low quality and high quality units. And Rise of Mordor also, I think, have definitely gone on leaps and bounds with this change. Also, I should mention as well, I'll leave a link to it down below in the description, but I'm sure if you guys want to play in these types of battles in the future, make sure you go ahead and join the Rise of Mordor Discord as well, because this is where the battle was hosted on. So if you're looking to maybe be a part of these battles and do some scenario battles of yourself, or just looking for people to play Rise of Mordor with, I'll leave the link to their Discord down below, and you guys should definitely check it up. But I mean, for the most part, it seems like the Dwarves have been very successful. They've completely breached this position, and now we are seeing the Orcs basically completely falling back. I wonder if they're just trying to retreat off the field and just give up on this battle, because these guys are running away. So maybe the Orcs are simply just trying to retreat, or maybe they're going to make their last stand. Which is, again, really interesting in these scenario-esque battles, is like they're actually giving up and being like, okay, this battle's lost, let's try and pull out with what we can. And you can see the trolls here finding themselves pretty much surrounded now, no way of escape, and they are going off. So yeah, maybe they will be just like escaping, or maybe they'll just decide to try and hold this position here, maybe set up another ambush. We'll have to see how in-depth the battle play actually is. Over on this other side as well, we just have this unit of pikes, which they have now broken. Thanks to the crossbows and the other units, they can now quite freely push their way forward. Yeah, I mean, it does seem like they are retreating back just to hide, maybe. So maybe we'll be able to get a lucky kill. We also have some trolls moving in as well. Unfortunately, them trolls were killed on the charge before they could get in. So able to rack up some kills quite nicely. And some very nice kills here as well. This unit of Iron Hammers up to 250 kills, 270 on this unit. Again, keep in mind that they're fighting a faction with a lot of HP and a lot of models. So, you know, it's not like exactly like if they were fighting the elves, they would have that many kills. They could have just quite simply killed a unit of Mirkwood Trackers with 250 men in. So again, the kills can be a little bit deceiving now and again. We are seeing a lot of missile fire come down here, though, on the champions of Dol Guldur and also the Mirkwood Trackers there as the missiles come in. But yeah, I mean, we are seeing a lot of units just kind of like falling back now, trying to get the hell out of this battle. As the Dwarves continue to push their way forward, these guys and the champions of Dol Guldur are going to throw their way forward. Obviously, any kills they can get is going to be great. If I was the Dwarves right now, I'd probably pull back a little bit, kind of like force the enemy out into the open. I think that would be very, very successful for them. But I guess at this point, they don't really have to worry too much. They are also throwing into the Iron Guard, try and kind of withstand that charge. A good unit to withstand that charge is the Spearmen, and then kind of reinforcing with other units a little bit later. We also do have some Bowmen of their own, which are volleying in, trying their best. But they're going to need probably a better unit to come in if they want to take care of this amazing shock infantry unit of Dol Guldur. Or maybe just trying to break them also would not be a bad idea. All the missiles now focusing down the Mirkwood Trackers. Just going to see them going. Because, I mean, 36 kills on a unit of Mirkwood Trackers is pretty good. And we are now starting to see more units fall back. So I wonder if they're literally just going to give up this battle, let them take the city center, and just keep these units for, like, the next battle. Because, yeah, I really wonder how that's gonna play out. But I guess we'll find out in the next battle. We'll see. Because they also did post a few descriptions as well, which we'll be taking a look at. That description in the intro was completely done up by the people who did this battle as well. So we will have to see as more and more of the arrow fire comes flying in right there. Yeah, they're looking just to overrun this position. I mean, pretty successful job so far as they pick off what remains. Yeah, I really do wonder if these guys are basically just out of the battle now, and like these are like the units they've saved for the next engagement, and that will obviously knock on. Or maybe they're going to just try and like, maybe that's not the case for the evil guys. and they're just going to basically push on, take the city center, and then these guys are going to come flying out in their back. We'll have to see exactly how that does play out. But yeah, pretty decisive victory in this first scenario for the Dwarves, losing 2,500 men. It is still a lot of the units to lose, but considering they killed 7,000, that is not too bad. But again, the Orcs were pretty much destined to fail at the beginning of this, having their forces so split up and everything. You can imagine why you will be seeing it like that. So yeah, let's just obviously speed things up. You've got some units moving towards the city center, I imagine, to capture that. Yeah, moving in. I wonder if these towers are firing as well. There are a handful of towers back here as well in this last stand position, so we'll have to see exactly if they rack up any kills as well. No, it doesn't seem that they are pushing out, so it looks like they are going to be going in for that last stand. I imagine, though, that the battle will end before that will happen, because they'll simply take the city center, or maybe they'll just be able to break everything. That poor unit right there of Mirkwood Raiders getting absolutely hammered by all the missile fire. So yeah, it does seem like the Dwarves managed to outsmart them. I imagine what was happening here was these guys were going to hide them, and as this force pushed forward, they'd then spring their ambush and hit them in the back. But because I guess they maybe saw them retreating back there or whatever, and they realized that they wouldn't be able to do that as they take the city center, that there was no way out for them. And yeah, they're going to find themselves charging in and then getting enveloped, because you have a Dwarven army coming from this side, an army coming from this side, and I guess they've just accepted that the defeat is inevitable, and maybe going to just move out and try and get as many kills as they can, so they don't just get shot to death by the remaining crossbows. Dwarves are going to pull back now. Is that perfect timing? I think that could be literally just perfect timing there. Yes, oh my god, that was very good timing there by the Dwarven armies. As Dol Guldur make their last stands now, I mean, I assume we'll see a mass rout right now. There's not really much left in the tank for them, and we're already starting to see the units breaking. And that's going to be it. The Dwarves are going to claim victory in this first battle. As we suspected, this was just like an out of force for Dol Guldur, nothing too serious. They kind of set up an ambush to try and bring them on. And unfortunately, it was not too successful. However, you know, the Dwarves will be pushing on, losing this many amount of men, and we'll have to see how it does affect the next battle, if that is what you guys want to see. So once again, big shout out to the people who sent this battle into the Discord. You know, obviously I wouldn't be able to do this without them, and hopefully we'll get to some more cool battles if that's what you guys want to see. So let's go ahead and skip ahead now to the kill counts, as the battle does wrap up and what remains of Dol Guldur routes to the wind. And I'm excited to see exactly how many kills everybody did get. Yeah, you can see a lot of kills on these Dwarven warriors. Again, keep in mind that these are some pretty large units of orcs, so, you know, 400 is still very impressive, but do keep in mind that it might not be the best units. The Trolls doing a pretty good job as well. Yeah, the Trolls doing not too bad. Considering they will always be the focus point, it's always good to see them performing, and you can see the rest of the Dwarven armies right there. 300 kills on this unit of Erebor crossbows, and not a bad amount of kills on these guys as well. Look at that, a Dwarven general not getting any damage. Goddamn coward, man. He'll have to obviously prove himself in the next battle. So if you guys enjoyed this, make sure you go ahead and drop a like and a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.